Good morning. Morgan O'Hara back in with us today. And for Charlie, here to answer your legal questions. If you've got one, well, the number's on our screen. Give us a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead. We've got two callers on the line.
Okay.
Great questions. Let's hear from them this morning. Hi, you're on the line with Morgan. Go ahead. What's your question? Hello?
Hello.
Go right ahead. What's your question? You're on the line.
I wanted to know if a quitclaim deed would stand up in the death of somebody that had a property.
It depends on the quitclaim deed, but for one thing, you probably need to take whatever deed you have. I would think you'd want to take it to an attorney to make sure it's valid. Generally speaking, it should. I mean, if it's a quitclaim deed deeding a piece of property from one person over to another, then normally it would. But I think the best thing that you should do if you want to make sure it's valid before someone dies, take it to an attorney and make sure that it meets all the requirements for a quitclaim deed.
Can you explain to folks who may not be familiar with a quitclaim deed what exactly it is?
Well, it's usually when you're deeding over a piece of property from one person to another, but you have to have consideration. And it has to kind of meet these requirements. It's basically a contract. So you need to take it to an attorney to make sure it's specific as to the property, it has consideration in it, and it's been signed properly, notarized. I mean, it has to have some requirements to be valid.
Okay, good to know. Thanks so much. Great question. Thanks for calling in. Good luck with that. Let's go ahead and get to the next call this morning. Hi there, you're on the line. What's your question?
Hi, yeah, I recently kicked my boyfriend of 6 years out, and I want to be sure that he can't come back and try to put a lien on my house or anything like that.
Okay, well, in that situation, you know, I don't know if we have common law marriage in Kansas. I mean, you didn't say that you were married. I don't know exactly regarding if he's going to try to put a lien on your property. I mean, he'd have to have a basis to do that, and he'd have to go through the court system to be able to do that. You probably want to go in and talk to an attorney specifically about your situation and exactly what concerns you have. But I mean, if you aren't married, you know, I don't know exactly what kind of legal basis he would have to put a lien on your house or your apartment or exactly what you're talking about. But I think you need to go in and talk to an attorney specifically about what questions you have or what concerns you may have that he could have some legal basis against you.
When would you have a legal basis to put a lien on a home?
Well, if somebody owes you a debt, if you're a creditor, a lot of times they can put a lien on a piece of property because that would be an asset of someone, and if you want them to pay you back, you can go through the court system to have a lien put on someone's piece of property in order to get that debt paid. So normally in that situation there'd have to be some sort of debt owed by the person. You know, a creditor would be the person that's trying to put the lien on someone's.
But if she owns the house and they were never legally married, although I know you mentioned common law marriage, but there are some requirements to be able to fulfill that too, correct?
Right, and that gets kind of tricky in Kansas, and I think some people don't exactly understand it, but you have to have the capacity to be married, you have to have a legal present agreement to be married, and hold yourselves out as husband and wife. A lot of times people will put each other on their health insurance as husband and wife. That can get you common law married. Filing joint tax returns as husband and wife can get you common law married. And my understanding, the last time I looked, I think Kansas is one of the few states that has common law marriage today.
Okay, good to know. Ask an attorney, always a great word of advice. Of course, we only get a little bit of the story here on Eyewitness News, but thanks for answering those questions as best you could. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, and thanks so much. Good luck with that. We'll be back with more Eyewitness News.